welcome to today's video. Today's video is a writing vlog. I haven't done one of these in a long time. You can tell I'm a mess right now, but it's fine. I haven't recorded one of these in a while, and in that time I have done actually quite a bit of stuff. So the first thing I've done is and what this writing vlog is going to be about, because I'm going to record 2 writing vlogs because I have a lot to talk about. This one is going to be centered around editing for my 3rd book and some things that I had thoughts about, and then because I'm also writing the 4th book, that's going to be a separate writing vlog in and of itself, because there's just so much to talk about, because I've neglected putting myself on camera for a while. Anyways, so let's get into this. Let's talk about my 3rd book and the fact that I did 1 full round of edits on it. Now, I want to first start off by saying it started out having 121,000 words, around there. Now, something that always happens when I do my first round of edits, the book somehow gets longer. Even as I'm taking things out, I'm apparently making it longer. But you know what? It's fine. There are like 31 chapters in this book, so, and none of them are really that short. Like, I know in this book here, I have one pretty short chapter that I had worked to lengthen, and but I still believe it is pretty short, and it was chapter 16, which, yeah, it's still pretty short. It's less than 10 pages. I don't have a single less than 10 page chapter in this book. No, they're all 15 to 30 pages long, and Jesus. Yeah, the book is now in the sizing for this type of book, 519 pages. And that's without including things like an acknowledgement, that's without including something like the copyright page. It's not including, or the map that I included in the 2nd book. It's also not including any of those, you know, chapter title images that I normally use. Like, it's not including any of that. 519 pages. So much. It's also 128,000 words. Sorry, I'm blind. It's 128,334 words long instead of the original 121,000 that I started with. Now, most writers, I would assume, write so much and then they take out stuff and they don't add more. Complete opposite, apparently. I am an intuitive writer, or like, I call it intuitive writing, but it's really just, I don't plan. I call it intuitive writing, but it's just the type of writing where you're just doing it by the seat of your pants, because you don't know what's going on. No one's gonna know what's going on. It's fine. But yeah, so this book is is interesting. I when I went back to the beginning, like right away, I actually forgot how much growth certain characters have. Like, there's one in particular, I'm not going to mention their name, but they go through so much growth, and it's absolutely amazing as to where they started and where they ended. And oh my god, it's like they start off with a lot of discrimination and prejudice against royals. By the end of it, they still have some of that prejudice, but it's lessened by quite a bit. And the reason for that, I'm not going to say, because that would be a huge spoiler. But my god, it's so amazing. Now, I also want to fucking talk about the fact that I apparently can't make decisions, because in the first little bit of the book, someone's eyes were a certain way, and then for the other half of the book, they were in another way. So I had to finally make a decision on how I wanted those eyes to appear. It was so awful. So it's like, oh no, now editing me is on the spot. I also want to talk about how raw I made the torture scenes. Like, they're not so bad that people won't be able to read them, but they are bad enough that I'm gonna need to put a trigger warning. And like, I don't have any like I can't say that. There was a hint of it. I don't have anything like explicitly that would trigger at least myself, who's been through like physical abuse. But when I was originally writing these scenes, it was like that. I had to constantly take breaks from writing the torture scenes, and like, there are only 3 physical torture scenes. The rest of them are mental, and it's just an emotional thing. But there are only 3 physical torture scenes, and some are more gag worthy than the others. But like, I forgot how I did these torture scenes, because they're just so fucking they're so good that they're so bad that they're good, in the fact that they're awful. What's being done is awful, but it triggers so much emotion, so much wanted emotion, and it's so nice. It's just all of that emotion that you really want. And so yeah, these torture scenes do have a purpose. I wouldn't put them in if they didn't, but they do have a purpose, and that purpose is to show the reader all of the things that the character is going through, while the rest of the book is showing what the other characters are trying to do about it. Now, next we're gonna talk about how I somehow write bomb-ass lines. And I don't know how I do it. Like, this, I have one written down here. I know there are others, but it's hard to find them. But anyways, this first line is, to be complacent with a monster is to already be dead. And damn, that hits hard. Oh, that hits so hard, especially for someone who grew up having to fight all of the monsters that is my family. Uh, it hit so hard because I wasn't complacent, and I felt like I shouldn't be complacent and do what they want. No, I chose to be difficult, and I did pay for that, much like this character does, and it's fine. Okay, well, the line is somewhere about it's about loyalty, and let's see if I can remember it off the top of my head. Loyalty shifts just as easily as a blade cuts through skin. I think that's what the line is. My God, it's just so true. Loyalty does shift very easily. Like humans have their loyalties shift so easily just because and it's strange because a lot of us pride ourselves in how loyal we are and how much we just are good people, and yet there's this line. In my experience, loyalty shifts easier than a knife cuts through your skin. And that's just a fact. I also have not lived the best life. I have not been surrounded by the best people for a very long time. So my view could be a little skewed. And honestly, that's also the intention of that line, is because all of these people that are showing this is that these characters have been through hell and back, and they don't know who to trust. Loyalty means nothing if it can't be guaranteed by something else. So obviously after that, it's this other character responds with if you cannot trust my loyalty, trust my anger. And that is a solid thing that people can trust, because that is almost never changing. Anger comes from a place of love, yes, but sometimes that anger is more powerful than the love. Yeah, so there's that. And I also want to talk about the fact that there is a kill count on this book, and it's not a great kill count. It's up there. I did the math of how many people have died in these 3 books, and it's somewhere around 120. And this is including random random people that were just brought in and then killed right away. This is including all of the tiny little characters that have faced this. There is actually a larger kill count, because I'm not including the 4th book. So books 1 to 3, there's about 120 kills. Most of that is in book 3, because book 1, you have 2 official kills. Yeah, 2. Book 2 has, let's see, there's that one. Anyone else die? Did anyone else die? Yeah, no. Book 2 has 3 official kills. So that's 5 in 2 books. The others are all in book 3. Now, next week I am going to come out with the title reveal. Not a cover reveal because I've not done that. A title reveal and a synopsis reveal for the 3rd book, and I'm gonna give you a hint right now. The title hints to all of the death that is going to happen in this, because I want y'all to be prepared. But yeah, so I had to read through a lot of people's deaths. A lot of significant people with some significance to the story. There were just so many. The first death that actually happens in the book happens in the first third of the book, and that will be probably one of the deaths that I cry over the most. After the very significant death that happens in here, that I am still referencing even in book 3 and maybe book 4. I don't remember. I don't think I've referenced it in book 4 yet, but probably will. Because mourning is different, and some characters need to haven't actually properly mourned others, so it's fine. But yeah, so we've got that. Reading through all of those deaths was very hard again, but not as hard as when I was writing them. But you know what, maybe that'll change on my 10th edit, as when I did every single time I edited my first book here, every single time I edited it, that death scene of the very significant and loved character, the death scene didn't make me cry at first, or second, or even third, but the more and more I went through the book, I edited the book, I cried harder and harder and harder every time, to the point where I cannot even read that scene because it hurts. It hurts so much, even just thinking about it. But yeah, so I anticipate the amount of times I'm gonna have to read and go through this 3rd book. I anticipate some character deaths becoming more and more teary-eyed and more sad and harder to get through. So wish me luck. Something else I want to talk about is how cruel I have made Jupiter of Maria in particular. Now, I have made him pretty cruel. You don't see him like at all for the first book, but for the second book, you see like little tidbits, and in this 3rd book, you see him quite a bit more. But his cruelty, without his memories, is so awful. Like, it is so bad, and it's bad in a good way, because you want to have that. However, that also means it's gonna be very hard to redeem this character. In fact, I'm still on the fence on if I want to kill him or redeem him. I don't actually know if I'm going to kill him or redeem him. And I'm writing the final book in the series, so we'll see where things take us. I certainly don't know how I could possibly redeem his actions. I sincerely don't know, but you know what? I'll figure it out eventually. But yeah, so this whole book is really amazing. Now, if you have not read my first book, Princess of Lightning and Prophecy, I do not have my second book on hand, but for my second book, Prince of Love and Roses, please do go read those. I have been reading through my physical copy of this, and I have noticed a few grammatical errors. Well, not really grammatical. It's just words that shouldn't be there. So I'm probably gonna go through this thing and then figure out what's wrong with everything, because apparently I need a physical copy in hand to see those mistakes, because I've been through this book upwards of 20 times, and there are still things apparently that I and the person that edited this book missed. It's probably other things in the second book too, but like one book to fix at a time. Anyways, this writing vlog is long enough. I will end it here, and then next week you will get to be treated with the synopsis and title reveal of my third book. No cover reveal yet. Not yet. It's too early. It's too early for that cover reveal, and I still need to make the cover. I always start it, I spend a few hours on it, and then I stay away from it for a while. But this book's cover is harder for me to do, purely because it's okay. You know how this is done. I'm sure you've seen how my second one is designed. I'll put a picture up here. But the third one is going to be designed slightly different, because it's going to be away. It's going to be a little further. It's not as much of a close-up on the character that the titles are after. Like, this is titled after Ash, second book is titled after Aaron, the third book you'll see. And then the fourth book will also probably just be an outward view, because yeah, it'll make more sense. But yeah, if you haven't read my books, I have links for them in the description. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a like. If you want to see more content from me, hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell so you get notified when I post a new video. And I will see you all in the next video. Bye bye!